Bullies target new black cheerleader, unaware her father is a U.S. Marine. High school hallways have always been battlegrounds, places where confidence is tested, differences are magnified, and cruelty often hides behind laughter. For students who don't quite fit the mold, every step between lockers can feel like walking into enemy territory. And for new students, the danger is even greater. They arrive without allies, without reputations, and without protection. At least, that's what everyone assumes. This story dives into one such school, where smiles can be sharp as knives and popularity is wielded like a weapon. It's a place where cheerleaders are supposed to sparkle, not struggle. Where strength is judged by appearances, and kindness is often mistaken for weakness. When a new black cheerleader transfers in, she quickly becomes the target of relentless bullying, mocked, isolated, and humiliated by those who believe she's an easy victim. What they don't know is that behind her quiet resilience is a father forged by discipline, honor, and sacrifice, a man who has survived war zones, led troops into danger, and sworn an oath to protect what matters most. A U.S. Marine doesn't back down from intimidation, and he doesn't ignore injustice, especially when it threatens his child. This is not just a story about bullying. It's a story about identity, strength, and the dangerous mistake of underestimating someone because of how they look. It's about what happens when cruelty meets courage, and when those who terrorize others finally face consequences they never saw coming. Settle in, because this story builds slowly, but when it hits hard. When Aaliyah Carter stepped onto the front steps of Westbrook High, the sun was barely up, casting long shadows across the brick building. She adjusted the straps of her backpack and took a deep breath, steadying herself the way her father had taught her. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. New school. New city. New everything. Her cheer uniform felt stiff against her skin. Red, white, and gold. Westbrook's colors. She had earned her place fair and square during tryouts the week before, impressing the coaches with her precision and athleticism. Still, she felt the weight of dozens of eyes on her as she walked through the doors. Whispers started immediately. That's her. The new girl. Did you see her hair? Aaliyah kept her head high. She had learned long ago not to react. Her father always said, "Your composure is your first line of defense." He said it calmly, like it was common sense. To him, it was. The cheer squad met in the gym before first period. The moment Aaliyah entered, the room shifted. Conversations slowed. Smiles tightened. At the center of it all stood Brittany Hale, the squad captain. Blonde. Perfect teeth. Perfect life, or at least that's how it looked. Brittany looked Aaliyah up and down, her eyes lingering just long enough to sting. "So," Brittany said loudly, clapping her hands once. "Coach says we have a new addition. Welcome, Aaliyah said politely. "Right. Aaliyah," Brittany repeated, drawing out the name like it didn't quite belong. "Hope you can keep up." A few girls snickered. Practice was brutal. Every time Aaliyah nailed a routine, Brittany would scoff. When Aaliyah stumbled once during a transition, Brittany pounced. "Wow," she said. "Guess standards have dropped." Aaliyah swallowed her response. By lunchtime, things escalated. As Aaliyah walked into the cafeteria, her tray was knocked from her hands. Milk splashed across her uniform. Laughter erupted. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," Brittany said, not sounding sorry at all. "Guess I didn't see you there." Aaliyah's hands shook as she picked up her tray. Her cheeks burned, but she didn't cry. She never cried in public. That was another rule. From across the room, phones were already out, recording. That afternoon, Aaliyah sat alone on the bleachers during free period, scrolling through messages from her dad she hadn't replied to yet. "Dad, first day went okay." "Dad, remember, courage isn't loud. It's steady." She typed, "It's fine," then erased it. After school, when she got home, the house smelled like coffee and metal, gun oil. Her father, Staff Sergeant Marcus Carter, was at the dining table, carefully cleaning his service pistol. His posture was relaxed, but his eyes were sharp. He looked up. "You're late." "Cheer practice," Aaliyah said, setting her bag down. He studied her for a moment, noticing the faint stain still on her sleeve, the way her shoulders sagged just a bit too much. "You okay?" he asked. Aaliyah hesitated. "Yeah." Marcus nodded, but he didn't believe her. That night, a video began circulating online. "New girl gets owned on her first day faced with tears of joy." The caption had thousands of views by morning. And Westbrook High had no idea what storm was quietly gathering. The video had spread faster than wildfire. By the time Aaliyah stepped onto campus the next morning, she could feel it in the air, the glances that lingered too long, the whispers that stopped when she walked by, the fake sympathy mixed with amusement. Her phone buzzed non-stop with notifications she refused to open. She went straight to her locker. "Hey, viral girl," a voice sneered behind her. "Brittany." Aaliyah slowly closed her locker and turned around. Brittany stood there with two of her closest friends, arms crossed, smiles sharp and confident. "Didn't know cheerleading included slapstick comedy," Brittany continued. "You really know how to entertain." Aaliyah met her eyes. "You done?" Brittany blinked, surprised by the calm in her voice. "Excuse me?" "I asked if you're done," Aaliyah repeated. "Because I have class." The hallway went quiet. Brittany laughed, but there was something uneasy in it. "Wow. Feisty. Guess moving here really changed you." She leaned in closer. "Just remember, you're only here because Coach wanted diversity." Aaliyah's jaw tightened, but she didn't respond. She walked away. What Brittany didn't see was the way Aaliyah's hands trembled once she turned the corner. At lunch, the bullying became physical. As Aaliyah sat down at an empty table, someone kicked the back of her chair. She nearly spilled her drink. "Oops," a boy said, smirking. "My bad." Across the room, Brittany watched, satisfied. That was when Coach Reynolds blew her whistle. "Everyone settle down," she barked. "Cheerleaders, gym. Now." Inside the gym, Coach's expression was hard. "I've received multiple complaints," she said. "Videos. Reports. This stops today." Brittany rolled her eyes. "People are too sensitive." Coach Reynolds turned to her slowly. "Sensitivity has nothing to do with harassment." The room went silent. "Aaliyah," Coach said gently. "You're excused. Go home." Brittany frowned. "Why does she get special treatment?" Coach's voice was sharp. "Because she's the victim." Brittany's face flushed. That evening, Marcus Carter finally saw the video. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't slam his fist. He watched it once. Then again. His jaw tightened. Aaliyah stood in the doorway, heart pounding. "Dad." He held up a hand. "How long?" She swallowed. "Since the first day." Silence filled the room. "I taught Marines how to spot fear," Marcus said quietly. "I taught them how to face it. But I failed to notice it in my own house." "You didn't fail," Aaliyah said quickly. "I just didn't want to worry you." Marcus stood. His height alone commanded space. "No one gets to treat my daughter like this," he said evenly. "Not in any school. Not in any country." The next morning, Marcus Carter put on his dress uniform. Westbrook High had never seen anything like it. When Marcus walked into the front office, medals gleaming, posture flawless, every conversation stopped. The secretary straightened instantly. "May I help you, sir?" "I'm here to see the principal," Marcus replied calmly. "Regarding my daughter." Minutes later, Principal Whitman sat stiffly across from him, watching the video play on a laptop. "This is concerning," Whitman said. "Concerning is a mild word," Marcus replied. "Harassment. Discrimination. Physical intimidation." Whitman nodded nervously. "We'll handle it internally." Marcus leaned forward slightly. "With respect, sir, if this were handled internally, I wouldn't be here." Whitman swallowed. Marcus slid a folder across the desk. Inside were printed screenshots, timestamps, witness statements, and a formal complaint already prepared. "My daughter will be protected," Marcus said. "Or this goes beyond your school." By third period, the entire cheer squad had been pulled from class. Brittany sat smugly, until she saw Marcus standing beside Coach Reynolds. The color drained from her face. "This is Aaliyah's father," Coach announced. "Staff Sergeant Marcus Carter, United States Marine Corps." Whispers exploded. Marcus's gaze was calm, but devastating. He looked directly at Brittany. "Leadership," he said, "is not about power. It's about responsibility. And you've abused yours." Brittany tried to speak. Nothing came out. The consequences were swift. Brittany was stripped of her captain title. Suspended for 2 weeks. Removed from the squad pending review. Others involved faced disciplinary action. The video was taken down. Apologies, some sincere, some forced, followed. But the most powerful moment came later that afternoon. Aaliyah stood in the gym, practicing alone. Her movements were sharp, controlled, confident. Marcus watched from the doorway. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded. "Yeah. I think I am now." He smiled. "Good. Because strength doesn't come from who protects you, it comes from knowing you deserve protection." The next game night, Aaliyah stood at the front of the formation. The crowd cheered louder than ever. Brittany watched from the stands, silent. And Aaliyah? She smiled, not because she had won, but because she had survived. And thrived. If this story moved you, inspired you, or made you think, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. More powerful stories like this are coming. Thank you for watching.